Wame, remember how it all started? You came to Balangao with a new friend from 3,000 miles away, across the USA. Remember Alma's story about that? We both had something urgent to share and a promise that heaven will have folks redeemed to God out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, Uncle Cam would say. So with the support and blessing of our parents, off we went from different coasts to Mexico to learn how to live in a different country. The powers that be put us together to build a little house in Palmdale. This convinced us we could work together, and we began to plan and later to pack. Now the Philippines were 21 days away by way of ocean-going freighter, no sight of land from the time we left California. 8 of the 10 passengers were young people heading out to translate the Bible into languages that didn't even have a written alphabet. Having arrived in Manila finally, we needed to go by way of inter-island boat to Mindanao to get our assignment. Remember Laurie Reed? He kept buying us Coca-Colas and showing us pictures of the peoples of Balangao, Ifugao. Laurie helped us find our way to those Ifugao who had said Americans would be welcome. We were on a mission now with God. But the bus only went so far, so we bought tourist hats and started out on a long walk across the mountain, with ladies serving as cargadores. The views along the way were breathtaking. And then there was beautiful Futa barrio right in front of us. We experienced a warm welcome and many to help us settle in. We were even included in a peace pact, and Alma sent a reassuring message to our parents back home that we would be protected here. With a lot to learn, but hearts full of eagerness, we watched life in Futa and tried to participate. We brought medicine, we talked in the garden, chatted on the porch, and everywhere we went we took little notebooks in our big pockets and a Butoba tape recorder to help us make sense of what we were hearing. We even tried to say these stories back. We didn't care, but we were laughed at, and rightly so. After some months we walked out that long path for a meeting or something, and then back in again. It was a long, hard trip. Remember how your heart acted up? And we began, with help from our colleagues, to plan an airstrip for the parade ground in Natunan. But there was an underground spring right in the middle of it. It was short and not as wide as the plane's wings on one end. The Balangao friends and neighbors were up to the task. What a day when Wayne Asherman first approached in the airplane. Ifunna, he was called. Without ever coming in to Natunan before that day, he had directed the building of the airstrip by two-way radio. And now a 3-day trip for us was done in 15 to 20 minutes. Our parents, still behind us all the way, came for a visit, and yours came for many more after that. And we even had a visit from the Secretary of Education of the Philippines. People could now fly out in emergencies, they could send rice out, and there were many blessings for all with the coming of the airplane. At Christmas time, Tekla helped us put on a play. We worked up an alphabet, described more or less the grammar, and published one linguistic paper. Remember our trip to Mindanao and Alma's amazement at the size of the ocean and his friendship with the Ata man? In mid-1964, I left to marry Tom, who later topped off your first 5 years by showing up the day before you left for your first furlough. What fun he had with the Balangao people sitting up until the wee hours, after Bob Griffin barely got him in before daylight was gone. Tom explained to the family why he had taken me away, and I guess he kept all of you up until those wee hours, talking about the war in Vietnam, receiving weapons to help him get that war over with, and making a tape to send to me. Thanks, dear one, for finishing well among our dear friends and family there in Balangao land. God is still bringing in a great harvest of believers who will swell the courts of heaven around that throne. Happy birthday, and many more. Chut yu we I Farangao, mai and hamhamao and chut yu amin. And thank you for this celebration and for taking good care of Wami all these years. Wish I could see you too. Hauna ani.